only taken me fucking 10 episodes to get this camera in HD, like fucking episode 20. Who knows where I'll be? What am I saying? Welcome back to the Hardcore Project. This is episode 10. I've got a really cool guest on, which I'll speak about in just a hot second. Just wanted to give some honorable shout outs to some albums and EPs that I've been listening to over the past couple of weeks. Starting over with Bushido Code, who released The Ronin over in America. What a fucking ripper. Then we had Cruelty, released There Is No God Where I Am. Absolute blinder of an album. You need to get yourselves on that. Declination up in Scotland, look, they released a 3-track EP. Definitely worth a look into. Same again with Upraised. They did WVHC, which I think is Wolverhampton Hardcore, but don't quote me on that. And then the Coming Strife came along, that record label, to give us an absolute blinder of a band from, I think it's Thailand, called Whispers. And mate, Narok Bondin, that EP, mate, is a fucking slap. Like, touche, what a fucking release. That's so good for just releasing in general. You know what I mean? He's sitting there on top of that fucking material going, should we unleash this upon the world? Fuck it. And my goodness, did they. But one of my overall top ones that will, it's just gonna be spam until it can't be spam no more, is Climate of Fear, Stained with a Dismal Beauty. I think I've promoted this one before. If I have, listen to it again. If I haven't, then listen to it the first time round. It's so good. It's stupid good. Like, dumb, stupid good. When someone just gets into a recording studio and goes, listen, we're about to drop the real shit. This is the real shit. But anyways, enough about me chatting wham. I got to speak to Megan from the band Vexed. She's an absolute angel to speak to, and honestly, I cannot wait to see how far Vexed go. I've got a feeling they really are gonna go places. So check out the episode, and yeah, just let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Oh God, it tells you that you're recording in progress. That's how beautiful is that? Fantastic. Welcome back to the Hardcore Project. This is episode 10. I've got here Vexed. I've got Megan from Vexed. I've not got the whole Vexed, but we've got Megan here. So thank you very much, Megan, for coming on the show. How are you doing?
No, it's my pleasure. I'm doing really well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's going to be a good chat.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. As I say, when I got the email a couple of days back there, and they said, "Do you know what? Do you want to give this a go?" I thought, I'm not going to second say no, am I? Do you know what I mean?
That's my absolute pleasure.
Oh no, thank you so much once again. So yeah, let's get started on Vex then. I mean, so from what I can see here, it started back in sort of like early 2019, from the ashes of sort of previous sort of bands. So talk me through it. How did that go? How did this come to be?
So I'd been in a band previously, a couple of bands, and so had all the boys. Bands that I suppose you could call baby bands, where you just try and make them work for years and nothing really happens. And then eventually I was kind of left on my own in this band, and I was like, right, I need to find new members. And I eventually found Jay, who's Vexed guitarist, Willem, who's Vexed drummer, and then a couple of other people. And we absolutely hated the music we were playing, because they joined and had to learn all the old songs, and it was just awful. Like, I wasn't connected to them. It was songs that I was kind of like forced into singing and acting a certain type of way. I hated it. The boys hated it. And we were like, you know what, instead of trying to like flog a dead horse, why don't we just sack it off and just start our own thing and write our own music as a collective and do something that actually really represents us. So we all just killed it off. And then it was actually New Year's Day 2019. We were like, right, let's do Vexed. And it's as simple as that, really. We wrote a few songs, went on tour. We asked our friend Al, who's the Vexed bassist, who was also in another band previously that were doing quite well, but again, just couldn't quite get off its feet, similar to us. And we were like, come along, we always have a laugh, we always get pissed and just do stupid things and have the best fun together. And so he came to Europe with us, and we had the funniest time. And then by the end of it, we kind of forced him into joining. No, not really, he joined. And it was
now you're in.
So yeah, it was just like long time friendships from meeting people through gigging and touring, and we all just decided, you know what, we're going to give it a go, one last go, or we'll quit music altogether. And somehow it worked. Somehow
one final shot and it's worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, you can see straight away. I mean, your first drop there with your first single drop there came straight away, and it came with CJ guesting. Is that right?
It did, yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't say that you're on a trajectory of going far, right? We just sort of went, yeah, we're gonna get comfortable in our own skins. We're gonna start this new band. CJ, do you want to just do a guestie on this, by the way? And he comes, and as you say, off you go from there.
Yeah.
And as you say about mental indeed, it's impressive, if anything. If I'm to call it a word, it's impressive. So yeah, congratulations on that. Now I saw you played Techfest back in 2019.
Yes.
How was the reception for yourselves there? From what I could see video wise, it looked brilliant.
It was really good, but that was Vexed's first show ever. Wow. So so it was like an absolute baptism of fire. We'd had a couple of other gigs, like several gigs actually booked before that, but all of them freakishly got cancelled at the last minute. And the show before Techfest it actually got raided. It was in the Black Heart in London.
God. Yeah. What happened?
So apparently a couple of nights before our show, somebody had died in the venue, which is awful and very sad.
No way.
But it suddenly got raided because it was the person who had died was someone high up in the military, and it was deemed as a suspicious death, and so they just closed the venue down halfway through the gig before we'd even managed to get on stage. And we were like, okay, this is completely understandable, but for fuck's sake, we need a practice before Techfest.
Yeah, like please, just one. That's all we're asking for. And
and
it didn't come.
And it didn't come, so we were all absolutely cacking it and had to get on stage for the first time as a live band in front of, I think, about 500 people. I don't know. It was, for us, that was huge. It was the biggest show we'd ever played, and it was the first time we were playing it. So I look back at the videos that are on YouTube, and I feel a bit sorry for myself because I had tonsillitis as well.
Oh,
so literally everything that could go wrong was going wrong. I had tonsillitis. It was the first show. I was not a well lady, and we just cracked on and we had a great time. I absolutely love Techfest. They're like a big family. But yeah, it was baptism of fire, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be able to go from that there though, that's insane. So not only were you like ill, it's your first show, like the odds are against you, but you still just smashed through it. Like that, they were just molehills out of like the people mountain over molehills, isn't it? Like sort of thing. But absolutely smashed it. Well, that's brilliant. Well, there you go. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Well, we went on to go on to. Go on, sorry, I do apologise.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we've definitely changed the live show a bit since then. So when people watch that, obviously they're gonna think that's what we're like. But we're actually 10 times more aggressive and confident and mental on stage now. But
that's it, because you've got the moulding behind it now. You know where you're sort of comfortable. And in terms of ferociousness, I wasn't expecting your vocals to flow as so contrastingly well as they do, because how you go from just such amazing singing to this mighty like growl, it is insane. How long have you been doing vocals, if you don't mind me asking?
So I started doing screamed vocals when I was about 16. So that's 10 years now. And yeah, I mean, I was absolutely fucking atrocious when I first started. I was awful.
We all are. That is always the way it goes. You hear yourself and you think, do I really want to carry this on? Do I?
Oh my God, I know. And it hurt, and I was clearly doing it wrong. And but we all have to do that. We all have to have that journey. So yeah, 10 whole years of pissing off my entire family.
It's got to be done. Do you know what I mean? And look, it's getting you places now at the end of the day, so it's all paying off.
Yes.
That's brilliant. I know you've had a couple of tours that, sadly, because of COVID, kicking in. You were. I mean, you have been rescheduled for this one, if memory serves, for Bloodstock. But you
Yes.
were destined to play that obviously in 2020, weren't you?
Yeah. So we just got rebooked for Bloodstock, which is brilliant because for a while we didn't think we'd get the call back. And we were like, oh, come on, we need something to look forward to. And then last week or whenever it was, they gave us the call back, and we were like, thank fuck for that. We've actually got, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask about as well was the, because I know you and I think there was Discarnate were going to be with Whitechapel, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, so again, this is I'm going to keep blowing smoke up your ass because I'm so impressed with how quickly you grew and where you were being placed.
Yeah.
It's impressive to see. Has the Whitechapel tour been sort of like reorganized at any point, or are we still up in the air about that at the moment?
It's up in the air. I mean, I know they've just recorded another album, so they're going to want to do an album run. And who they want to take on tour with them is obviously completely up to them. So we, you know, it hasn't been rescheduled, but I wouldn't put it out of the question that I think we will play with them again at some point in the future because we are on the same booking roster. So, and our booking agent felt so awful for us that happened because, like you said, it was like, yeah, all systems go, let's go. Oh, actually, no, the world's on fire, and you're gonna have to sit in your room.
Yeah, that's it. Just sit in your room, stare at your wall, be quiet, and everything will be okay. And it was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
The biggest shows of your career have just been taken away from you. Psych. So yeah, they felt very sorry for us. So I think they may try and make something work, but I won't be upset if they don't. You know, I appreciate the opportunity, and I realise Whitechapel are a million times bigger than we'll ever be. So they're very busy men, and they've got a lot of fans to look after. But just to have been put on that lineup is just absolutely mind-blowing. I still don't understand it. I'm completely in disbelief. If it had happened, I probably still wouldn't believe it. So yeah,
like that's all would have happened for you, but subconsciously you're like, nah,
this isn't happening. Yeah.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can imagine it as well. Well, no, I really do hope that obviously that all picks back up again for you. Now, I know you released Culling Culture on it was on Friday just gone, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And from what I've seen so far, I've done a bit of research, as I've said, but you'll definitely have a lot more insight than I will. Is the reception of it now? From what I can see, it looks like it's been received so well. How do you feel it's been received, and how are you feeling about it all so far? Overwhelmed?
Yeah, completely overwhelmed. I think that's the best way to put it. It's really, it's a strange situation because we got signed 2 years ago now, but obviously the world didn't know about it because Napalm have timelines, and so we had to keep being signed quiet for nearly a year. We couldn't tell anyone, and then
sitting on that information as well. I bet that was so difficult.
It was awful. It was the worst thing because we just wanted to be like, yeah, we've done it, and it was like, no, keep it stumped. You can't let it get out. So yeah, we had to keep that quiet. And then we got the tour, and that got cancelled, and then, you know, the album got pushed back, and everything's just been put on hold constantly. And so now that the album's out and people can hear it and people are experiencing it, because we haven't gone out and done tours and we haven't gone out and played those shows
to actually promote it, of course, that's where it stopped.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels so unreal. It just it's like watching it from a distance. It's very can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. It's just my video gone for a second. I do apologize.
No, that's all good. Yeah, it's a very strange situation. I'm completely overwhelmed by the love and the support. I was not expecting it at all. And it's just wonderful. Like, it brings me to tears. Like, I'm the most emotional person you'll probably ever meet, and if somebody says they like 1 second of a song, I'll probably start crying. So the amount of messages and posts and things we've had of people being kind, I'm an emotional wreck at this point.
Oh, blimey, I bet. And do you know, as I say, I've seen so many comments and people sharing it. So I bet you've got tissues somewhere just stuffed ready. Just, my God, they've said it again.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, like, obviously the music is really heavy and aggressive, and writing music like that is my way of coping with those emotions, because I'm not an aggressive person at all. But when I'm feeling angry and pissed off, the way I cope with it is by writing angry and pissed off songs. So, but in reality, I'm incredibly emotional, and just this emotional little thing. And so, you know, people probably expect me to be like, oh yeah, well, I expected it, and you know, well, we fucking deserve it, or something like that. But the reality is, I'm like, no, I don't deserve it, and I want to cry. I love you so much.
That's the juxtaposition of it all, and I think that's what's really, really beautiful about it, is because speaking to you now, and anyone who will hear this will understand that you're straight away. We've only caught.
Oh.
What about now? Can we
There
hear
you
me?
Go. Yeah, can hear you.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll have
You
to
were saying
roll with that
straight
then.
away.
Apparently my mic just keeps cutting off for some reason. I do apologise.
It's all good, don't worry.
Can't even hear you now. This is where it goes wrong. I'm gonna have to pause it 1 second. Right, so sorry about that there, people. The mic seemed to cut out for a second and we left in a blank there, so I do apologise. What we were getting at there with Megan there, sorry, was basically how just how well received Vex has been. And I was just saying about the contrast of how she is as a human being. And then when you hear her vocally, it's like two separate entities. You don't expect it to be as, it's so good. It's like, it was the song Misery for me. I think that's the one that got me first. And how it all just flowed. And then you just go from this like I say, this like, if I were to compare, which I know I shouldn't, which is bad, but do you remember like old The Agonist? Remember them back in the day?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? So how her voice was always like, it was a higher pitched sort of thrill, and it got you up here, and then a shattering vocal would come in.
Yeah.
And you've got it nailed perfectly. And as you say, it's 10 years in the making now.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've pretty much mastered it now. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, it is quite funny sometimes, like watching people's reactions, because I don't by any means have any like I want to say self-worth. That's the complete wrong thing. I do have self-worth. I don't I don't think of myself very highly. You know, I'm quite an insecure person. So when people compliment me about it, I get very shy and very awkward. But I do take pleasure in like a sound check situation or something, when people see what they appear to be a very I guess blonde bimbo on the stage, and then suddenly I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like, whoa,
it is quite
shit.
good. Yeah,
that was not what I was expecting, but do it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Holding on then, so with that obviously it was Napalm Records that you signed up to, so you have to hold on to that news for a whole year.
Yeah,
that's scary.
Torture.
Well, not scary. Scary's the wrong way, but torture's the perfect way to describe it. If it was anything, that's nuts. But hopefully now with COVID's on its way out now, so with a bit of luck, you're probably going to start looking at. You probably already are in the process of maybe like booking tours or like looking at that way, and then we're going to see where Vexed goes from there. Hopefully then, with a bit of luck, I'd say by the sort of middle to the end of this year, you'll be back on stage and hopefully being able to promote that album that has literally only recently come out.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That is the plan. Nothing is confirmed yet because of the obvious, but we're trying to book something for the end of this year so that we can just actually play these songs to people. That's all I want in life, is to just, I never thought I'd want to be in a sweaty mosh pit more than I do at 26 years old. Like, I'm such an awkward person socially, and whenever I'm in a mosh pit, I'm like always feel a bit awkward. Now I'd dive straight in there. I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, shit. No questions asked.
Yeah,
just be like, I'm going in. I'm having a good time, and if anyone looks at me the wrong way, I'm just kicking off. Like
just knocking them out. It's fine.
Exactly. But it's the right music to do it to. No one's going to take it. No one's going to take it personally. It's what we're here for. Everyone loves a riff. Everyone loves a pint. Get involved and have a good time. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully we can get out there and do that by the end of this year. Just got to make it happen.
I've got it in my head now, and I've got Vexed down as a bit more of like an arena band, right? As opposed to just sort of like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see you guys in small venues because I feel like you tear it up. But I feel like because of how much, like, I think the sound of it now, so you've just literally put this forward, and it's like you've raised the bar, and it does sound like if you had that filling like an arena or of some sort, or like a, you know, like a big fill out venue, the sound would be so good. And I feel like it'd just carry really well. So I could, honestly, within months, I can see you guys in arenas with easily.
Fucking hell. Thank you so much. I would love that. That would be insane. Fuck.
Well, but by the looks of it, you're heading on the right tracks. I mean, considering
hope so.
the short amount of time that you were able to tour, you got quite a few dates done in the UK. I know you did one with Godmother, wasn't it? That was like a co-headline. And you
that was
went
great.
and played. Was it Europe? Whereabouts in Europe did you go to?
Yeah, so we did Italy and Switzerland. We had a couple of other ones, but they pulled out last minute, as they always do.
It's always the case, sadly.
Yeah, so we just took advantage of it anyway, and just had a nice little tour in our shitty green van around Europe, and we loved it. Yeah, Switzerland and where did I just say? Italy. Yeah, so Italy, and the UK. And so we've had a good short run, but it was short-lived, and it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, well, as I say, it feels like you've been shelved because of COVID, which is
that's how it feels.
highly upsetting.
Yeah.
But as I say, you know, I can see this picking up so fast again because just because of how quickly everything picked up, you can see it's just going to go places. And we've got Bloodstock on the way as well. So hopefully, with a bit of luck, you'll be playing that.
That'd be great.
Full of loads of metalheads, just absolutely jamming to your stuff. I know
Yeah,
plenty of people.
I mean, I hope they enjoy it. I'm slightly concerned because I've been to Bloodstock, and it was probably actually my favourite festival I've ever been to. It's so family orientated and just nice there.
Yeah.
But we are very much a Adidas tracksuit wearing, Stella in hand kind of chav, I suppose, metal band, and I am a little bit wary of how we're going to be received there, because I know it is very much a traditional metal festival. So I'm hoping that nobody will give a fuck, and will accept us for who we are, and we'll just want to get in the pit and have fun. But you never know. They might not like the Adidas tracksuits.
Well, you know, prejudice aside, whether they do look at you and just assume straight away, that's wrong on their behalf. Always has been, always will be. So I think it's down to actually taking on board what it is that you guys are playing, and when you actually do get it done. So regardless of what it is that you're wearing, drinking, or whatever, I'm confident that you guys will be very, very well received.
Thank you.
But no, I get what you mean about, like, so I'd say probably like kind of like within this scene almost, like it feels like you have to dress a certain way, have a certain way of looking to fit in, and that's not the case in any way, shape or form. You know, you can see plenty of people turn up in like bloody tracksuits and that, and then they turn up and then they end up being more into metal than you do, and you sort of sit there and you start questioning yourself, like,
I know, you see them two-stepping in their North Face tracksuits, and you think, fucking hell, yes, son, get right.
Yeah. I was not expecting that, but you can do that again. Do it 3 times. Honestly, it's phenomenal. So I hope they don't prejudice you, and if they do, I hope they're thoroughly fucking surprised.
Yes, definitely.
I know you did a couple. You played with bands like Harbinger and Hacktivist. What were they like when you were doing those sort of shows?
Really good, yeah. The Hacktivist one especially was just, to this day, one of our favourite shows we've ever done. Jay, our guitarist, is a huge Hacktivist fan, so he was very much, when we got there, trying to remain calm and not be a fangirl.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, and so he was kind of like trying to keep it together whilst sort of just sound checking with one of his favourite bands, and it turned out to be one of the best shows we've ever played and most fun shows, because it was a really small venue, so it really packed out front to back, and it was just vicious. It was so vicious, and I love nothing more than like getting a crowd to just let go of giving a shit about what anyone thinks of them or how they're acting, and to just fully just indulge in the pit and not give a fuck. And
Yeah.
I think every single body in that room did it that night, and it was magnificent, you know. And then Hacktivist went on, and we just got to fangirl at the back and watch them play from ridiculously close up, and it was a great night. They're amazing and really nice guys as well, which makes things even better.
Certainly, definitely adds to the experience of them. I think I've had the pleasure of seeing those guys once, I think, if memory serves, but I couldn't tell you when. But yeah, it was such a bouncy, good show. It's not just about, obviously, with metal shows, you want to have a good time, but like having a bounce to it as well. That was the difference of instead of just going all in knuckles in, it was sort of like, oh, we get to have a bit of a bop to this. This is all right. But yeah, I get exactly what you mean. And I guess with yourself as well. Obviously, a lot of the vocals that you're eliciting out loud to people, when they hear them, it's gonna be a case of fight or flight. It's either I'm gonna fight or I'm gonna fuck off, and it's you've got to choose. You got to choose to fight, I'd say. But yeah, you guys are definitely gonna you're definitely gonna tear things up in the future. I can see that happily. You guys are from or like based roughly around Hertfordshire, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So the three of us are, and then our bassist Al is in Oxford, so a little bit of a distance, but we take it in turns to go up or come down, seeing each other. But yeah, the three of us are sort of near Stevenage in Hertfordshire.
So that's where you guys pretty much hail from then. So I guess ease of access to sort of like southern shows is probably best for yourself there, but obviously you got a van now, as you said there, so you get to drive up north and whatnot. So well, yeah, you're going to be here, there, and everywhere. I can grant it. I can tell you that.
Yes. Much. Yeah, and we'll literally be anywhere that they'll allow us. If somebody said we could get on a plane and go to anywhere tomorrow, we'd be there, and we wouldn't care where it was. We just
there to set up and riff out. That's it.
Yeah, somebody's bedroom in Sweden, we're there. I don't care.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Play in the middle of IKEA, we'll do it.
Oh yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Chuck in some Cinnabons and some meatballs, we're there to go for
absolutely sold. Absolutely sold. Well, I hope that that'll sell easily, 100%.
Yeah.
So we got them playing. We've got meatballs in the back. So just let me know which one you want first. That's how that'll go. All right. Well, I know you're a little bit pressed for time here, so I'll let you do. Is there any shout outs you want to give to anyone, or anyone you want to give a bit of love to at all?
Give a shout out to the boys in Lestelle, who are another UK band that you should check out. They're very cool, and two of the guys from Lestelle do our music videos for us as well. So they're annoyingly multi-talented people.
Those guys,
those pricks. So yeah, well, big love to Lestelle, and just to anybody that's taken the time to listen to our music and be nice about it, and not be a dick on the internet. We love you, we see you, and we appreciate you.
100%. Well, there it is, folks. You've got Megan there speaking from Vexed. Catch their new album, Culling Culture, which has just come out. You need to get it on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, iTunes, any other form of platform that you can physically get it on ever. You've got physicals, haven't you?
We do, yes. You can get them at wherever you want to, but if you want to help out the band directly, go to vexed.com.
You heard it here. You heard it here, people. All right. Well, thank you so much, Megan, as I say, for coming on again. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to yourself. And I've got a lot of love for Vexed, and I'm excited for the future of you guys.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's no problem at all. But no doubt I'll get you booked in again, and we can come on again soon.
Yes, definitely. I'd love that.
Fantastic stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's been the Hardcore Project, episode 10. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks very much for your time. So that's bloody episode 10, look. Thank you very much for tuning in. You got to hear my bloody dulcet tones. Sorry about that. But you also got to catch up there, as I say, with Megan from Vexed. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. As I say, that's episode 10, nicely wrapped up. If you are still listening, fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do it. I'm just itching my leg, if you can see. My apologies. If there's any bands or anything that you want me to speak to, or anything that you want me to talk about, or just not talk about, or just fuck off, then please let me know in any way, shape, or form. That'd be really appreciated. I would like to see just some more input from people if they are enjoying it or not. You know, it would be nice to hear. Anyways, thanks very much again for your time, and I hope you look forward to more future episodes.